How we doing out there? I'm servant. I'm Pisces. God help me with this one. Well, the understanding that today I had a wonderful day. I guess y'all could tell as many I posted out there as like 25 minutes into one, just rattling on out there by the lake. I guess I could sit out there and talk forever. Either talk to you or talk to the Lord, one of the two. But as of last night, I was sitting there talking about the mingled people, and in Exodus, you know, how they all had bunched together and how all things come out to be mixed tribes at that time. Uh, they said that they corrupted the Israelites to sin. Well, the thing about it is, the analogy I gave last night about, people being paid to do whatever they done, to ride or whatever it is to cause chaos in the streets. It's going on around the world now. The thing about it is, what I've got to tell you is that God's here to tell you to stay centered in yourself, to understand that He is the one that's going to take care of this stuff, and understand His remnant is floating, okay? That He has it. There's going to be things that come up. We could have something happen here in the United States. Stocking up, taking care of people, just all in goodness and love, okay? There's times to, there's times to protect, there's times to lay down, there's times for war. Well, right now, it's a time to protect everybody with just giving them some love, get them to pointed, okay, down the natural law lane. Because the more that you have of God in your heart, and the more that you have your remnant out there with His floating, your energy, your happiness, and bringing community together, okay, you'll tighten your community up. You'll understand that it'll come to a point to where you understand everybody's needs. We had a grocery store over here about 12 miles away, closing a little old town. There was no apparent reason. Only thing it could do is conglomerate one area to make more profit. Well, now everybody's got to drive 15 miles every direction to just get a bell pepper or an onion. So what you got to understand is things are going to get weird and wild. We hear all these wars and stuff going on over there, but that doesn't affect you, okay? You're the children of God. You stay in the Word, stay in your Psalms. You listen, you communicate. Communicate with everybody, your next door neighbor, your community. The small communities, you'll need to communicate more. As you do, evil will flee, and you know who they are. You know the troublemakers and what's going on out there. But the thing that had torqued me, it wasn't so much the riders and everything up there, up north, and being paid to do what they was doing, or being upset because they was doing what they was doing. What torqued me off was looking at a gentleman that had a demon attached to him that was trying to kill another man on purpose. It wasn't the man himself doing it. It was the fear that was inside of him, the demon part. Now, the man, he may be proud of himself. If I'd have seen it, like I said, I wouldn't have stood for it for 2 seconds. I'd either be dead or be in jail, one of the two. And the people sitting there filming it, female, male, whatever, you can walk over and put your finger in that old boy's eyes. I promise you he'll get off his neck. But that, whenever a man on his last breath, hollers for mama, that's the end of it. I mean, that's a cry from the heart. You can't do that. You can't sit there and force a man to die like that. That's against God's will. But the point of it being is the after effect and the before effect. You know, I don't know what I was doing when I seen that, but you know, you got to understand that how the Satan works his way into certain situations in law enforcement and other places, and he'll attach to that because actually the real agenda was that the gentleman inside was scared. He's probably been scared all of his life. He become a cop to try to make himself bigger or better. A lot of people do that, and the thing about it is they think they scare people, and that makes them feel big. Well, that's why the cops or the police or the FBI or all of them have a tarnishment on them, because usually they have an attachment. And when they have an attachment like that, because they're needed, they get out there and they do something stupid, just like this. But the point of everybody being stupid instead of a higher mind, and it's not the government control, it's your control. If none of that happened on either side, say that was happening to the gentleman, and somebody just went over and poked that guy in the eye, what would happen to you? If you was a female, you'd probably just get thrown to the ground and taken to jail. I wouldn't be so forgiving, I don't think. I would, he wouldn't be back on that boy. But, the thing about it is that people have to understand that how these demon attachments work, and they work from a place of fear, and they think that they're big men, but they're really not. They're just hiding behind a badge at that point. Walk up and a police officer that was a Marine, okay? He knows he's 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and he'll take it to the deck, But the other people that have meandered through the fence line and got in somehow, they're attached because they've never been subjected to, brutal punishment like a Marine. But understand that these are demon attachments. The same thing is like riding. Those attachments are because you're upset. Well, the higher mind wants to do something. Well, the point of the higher mind is with the Father. You call into Him, okay? Because He says His judgment is final. What you do out there in action, okay, comes around back on you, even though you think it's justified. None of it. It's just like if they did declare martial law. Do yourself a favor. Comply. Stack up some cashes elsewhere and stack up your stuff elsewhere and give them whatever they ask, except for what you need to have, and comply. Because, the point of it being is you're not going to do your family any good. You're not going to do anybody any good if you're down there in the brig somewhere. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kind of issue some warnings here about attachments on both sides of the rail. And this is not, like I said, whenever we was talking about mingled people and the intro, it has nothing to do with racism. It hasn't. It has to do with Satan. It has to do with his agenda. It has to do with the upper echelon's agenda. As long as they can keep you confused and you not knowing what you're doing, guess what? They can keep this all stirred up and nobody will be able to get nowhere. And then when the part where you need to be safe and in place, you're not. You're scattered in somewhere else. So understand that your family needs you. They need you in a sound mind. The Father will give you that. Psalms 119, precepts, statutes, commandments, and fellowship. Oh, fellowship, yeah. But anyways, just stay in it to win it. It'll all come out, but just follow the Father. Our meditation time. I know that the point of people getting upset is people probably was upset at me. But you're right. I wasn't there. But if I was there, I promise you that wouldn't have happened. I I don't have that in me. I just don't. I don't have that watch in me. I'm part of the problem. I'm gonna be the problem. You know. So the point that everybody out there get a straight head on all these things that are going to happen. We got eruptions going on everywhere. We got supposedly pole shifts. We got cold fronts coming in from up north that's liable to sock everybody in for quite some time. People moving here, Russia doing this, Russia doing. The only thing that you got that you can actually deal with is in your community. Understand where you're at. Take some history back and bring it forward. Do some canning, do some preparing, prep, whatever it takes to get it done. Get you a regiment of what you're going to do in case this happens or that happens. Now, each one of you can go on your own. That's not a bad deal either. But the thing about it is that usually you try to go on your own, you probably got 5 or 6 more following you. So back in the day, it was help everybody. Well, this is the point of what is going on. If you want to prosper in a time of this, of such things going on, if it does happen, then you have to have the prosperity of God. Okay? I'm skilled. Okay? I can eat wood. So understand that your skills as a population are greater, and then everybody kind of gets everything that they need and want. One man, one woman, y'all can do a job too. You got 2 or 3 kids, that's another job. But just remember that, understand the control that you have to have, the understanding about what God wants you to do. You stay in meditation, come out, get your affirmation. Everything will be okay. Okay? Just remember. I keep saying this, and one night this place is liable to flash. But if they send a nuke here and nuke me, 1 second later I know exactly where I'll be. Okay? The fear, you don't have to have any fear. Look here, not for your family or anything. I know you have the protection fear. But look, you're going to protect yourself at all costs. That's just a given, okay? The Father is going to, do wondrous things for you, but understand, you stay in the Father, you stay in His Word, and there's no weapon forged against you will prosper. You've got the full body armor of God on, okay? Somehow, you get to slip through things that are going on around you like the people don't see you. It's pretty wild. But understand that, stand with the Father. Stand on the path. Natural law. Your elements around you, trees, everything is your fruit basket. Okay? So understand where you live. Understand where you have to go if you have to go. Make a plan. Set aside some cashes. Help your community. Do the very best you can. Just be the very best people you can at all times. That way nobody loses their cool and starts doing something stupid. So understand that. Now you're going to have some people in the chain of command. Make sure you pick some sound people. So, it can get a little wild, with a bunch of crazy bunch. But just remember, God has got you. No matter what, you are a child of God. And He knows this is your planet. That's the reason why all these argument and issues are going on, because the principalities are fighting, not you. The principalities are just trying to get you led off in the fights. That way, you can be held for something, That way you're not in the actual real fight with the Father. So, understand that your fight against the principalities, against evil, is in the Word and in your meditation. Because the Father's going to show you. He's going to show you what to do. And look, you will, it's just like today. I was out there filming at the lake. Well, I'm going to go over and see my brother. I got to the stop sign and I couldn't go no further. Father, I'm going to my brother. No, you're going home. So, okay. So I start heading home. Then I turn around and say, I'm going back to my brother's. I got the stop sign again. He said, no, you're going home. So I went home. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know that I'm supposed to be sitting here talking to you. I think that's what he's worried about. You get back home, you start talking to those people. But y'all are the greatest people on the planet, okay? There's nothing can stop you as long as you're in the Word of God. You will not lack, okay? You stay in the Word of God. You do your prayers and your meditation. Listen for Him. Stand in Psalms 119. Let this thing blow on over. Things are going to, like I said, the earthquakes, the eruptions, the flooding, the ice storm, the pole shift. I can tell you just like this. There's nothing you or I can do about these natural occurrences. But we have to do what we can do in our timeline occurrences now. We can bring our energy level up by reading the Word and understanding that we are protected. We can stay in the Word to walk the direction that Father wants us to go. You got to have that discernment because you don't know where you're at in a population that you may be drug off into something that you should not be into. Okay? The Father will tell you, go home. Just like He told me today, go home. So I did. So I'm just trying to tell you that God loves you. I love you. The people that are out there, chosen ones, look, do your discernment. Something's up. Something we're supposed to do. So I know that I'm being pulled this way and that way, but I'm here. Okay. Collective prayers, constant prayers, all of you. Constant prayers to the Father. Mercy, compassion, and love. Help us in our times of need. Psalms, from starting from the first Psalms all the way through. Read them all, Understand that the situations that we're in, our Father will hear our cry, okay? He will hear us. He will maneuver you where you need to be. You just got to be willing to listen, okay? So anyways, let me read this Nehemiah 13:3, which was the mingled people, which is Nehemiah's reforms. Now it came to pass when they had heard the law, the Father, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. Now they pulled everybody away from each other. The Israelites went one way and the rest of them went the other way. But what everybody doesn't see, it's not what God intended was that these bloodlines, every one of them, whether, like I said, whatever alien they were, whatever denomination they were, wherever they was from, these bloodlines were ancient bloodlines. But He knew about the commingling effect of the children. What it was doing was hiding that DNA code that's supposed to be woken up today. I don't know why we're woken up today. I don't know why. But everybody's supposed to be woken up. And the more that you stay in your Psalms, the more that you understand the petitions and the statutes and the commandments. And you understand that, okay, you jump a timeline, your energy level gets up a little higher. And you start seeing things at a different level. And I don't know why that is. Believe me, I've been jumping. But you get to see things at a different premium than just being flat on the ground. Just a human being walking around. You get to see more. That's why I say stay in your meditation, because that's how you're receiving. That's how you receive him. And but anyhow, I hope I kind of summed that up. Oh, we're at 20 minutes. Wow. Okay, let me read. I only done Jeremiah. I'll tell you what. I'll do Jeremiah tomorrow. But this is of the mingled people. It's Hebrew, Erev, and Arava, and that's to mix or mixed multitude. To the same as Hebrew. Word mixed multitude in Exodus, Nehemiah. In the former passage, the reformants is to non-Israelite people who left Egypt with the Israelites in Jeremiah. The term used as an expression of contempt from the mixed blood of certain of Israel's enemies in the numbers, such as a motley body seduced Israel to sin. Well, the point of the seducing part of it, seduced to sin, each one of these tribes and each one of these people were in their own way and own fashion. But when you put them all together, like they was in Egypt, they was working all the time, they was enslaved, whoever it was, either way. There was no nothing. They got freedom, and then guess what? It goes to the golden calf, enslavement. I mean, not enslavement, but fornication, sexual adultery, all these things, stealing, taking, whatever it may be, robbing, killing, So the point of it being is everybody separated at that time, which was a good idea. But the damage already been done by Satan. He already started his little nest egg. So as long as he could do that, there was always some kind of in between. As long as he can get that in between going, in your mind or in between you and a friend's mind or you and your husband's mind, that one little thing, okay? He dropped your favorite cup in the floor, okay? And, you don't turn around, well, honey, that's okay. No, you go, why did you drop, That's that one little thing. That's all he wants. And then he wants that your husband have a bad day and you have a bad day. Then look how many different turmoils you caused in that bad day. You made, maybe to your girlfriend you said this, or maybe to his friend he said that. And look how much strife was just started, just in between dropping of a coffee cup or something. That's the point of understanding that Satan will use any cause, okay? And as long as he can get one little touch over here, one little touch over here, this guy might have a wreck. This guy might have did just because we say something in an affirmation. That's the point of the decree. Always watch what comes out of your mouth. Always keep it in goodness. In Israel, and all through that timeline, people watched exactly what they said because they knew that those curses and those decrees would cause a problem, okay? So they didn't argue out of an issue. They only argued out of a correctness. So this is the thing that I'm telling you. God's trying to get everybody to realize that everybody's way out there off in left field and not understanding that all you have to do is say the one good thing and keep the one good thing going in your mind and everybody else's mind, and look how everything goes from there. Everything starts cleaning itself up. Everything starts clearing itself up. And that's the whole point. Just being good, helping somebody, doing something, being nice. And I know a lot of people don't want to be that way. But guess what? Understand what you're doing. Because when you do these things, all you're doing is you're bringing that judgment on your back. you're just going to make your life harder and harder and harder as you go. And that's your complaint. So as you complain along, you know, because you decide to say something, remember, it come around like a boomerang, hits you in the back of the head. That's the whole thing about this. Being in correctness, being in truth, being honest, keeping God in your heart, Jesus on your lips, and trying to walk in His way under natural law. And it's not that hard. You know how to be a good person. You know how to be good to everybody. You're good to me. I can feel you right through the screen. So understand that, you know, the life story is not that big a deal. The thing about it is that you hear these things, you hear all this stuff going on around you, but understand that you drop in to your meditation and you're bringing God close to you, and He's giving you downloads. Take a while to learn how. It took me a little while, but understand that you'll get better every day. You'll be the nice person, but bring your whole family to be nice people and start putting out nice, and you'll see how evil will flee. Okay, they won't come around you. I'm not going over there. They're too nice. But you'll see how you gain a tribe. Okay, your community will come together. You know, like I said, I talked to a lady today. You know, I hadn't seen her in 45 years. Me and her son used to run around together. And I stopped down there and talked to her a little bit. And she still says lives in the same house. She was there. She moved in that house in 1969. And still there, you know. Don't have a lot of people coming around, but our grandkids call. And I kind of talked with her about, you know, her will. She said, I already got all that stuff straightened out. She goes, I said, well, you've done better than most that I know. So, yeah, I mean, she was on point. So what I'm telling you guys is, look, this is a great big world with a whole bunch of people in it that if they can get off the edge of being on edge, just prick them with a nice little tone, I love you. God bless you. Jesus is with you. Let them have it. You know, it'll make you feel good. And then they're going to scurry away, and then 2 or 3 days later you'll see them, they're still shaking their head, and then they're still shaking their head, and then one day they'll meet you at the fence or something, you know. They'll come around. But you are the most wonderful people in the world. God created you. You're His children. He just wants you to stop and listen. Take in His Psalms 119. Stay on His precepts, okay? Statutes, commandments. And understand that everything that's in that book is all about you. It truly is. Everybody that was out there, Moses, Solomon, Abraham, you can see the hardships that they went through, okay? And you can see your hardships you went through. And this is the way I want to leave it with Jesus, okay? Back in that time, nothing was as of ease, okay? Fleas were your body warmers, okay? These people are living out here in gunny sacks, okay? You ever slide one of them on? Yeah, that wouldn't last too long. I'd be in leaves. But the point of it is, look in between the sandal, the bottom of his sole of his sandal, and the road, okay? That little grain of sand or that rock, okay? That man or woman had to travel that, okay? And they had to travel that life, okay, in hardship, 24/7. And somehow they was able to find some kind of happiness somewhere. If it was just, you know, looking in the sky and see some birds, you know. Happiness is not where you find it. Happiness is where you make it. So I want to tell you, you're the most wonderful people in the world. You're children of the Most High God. Only God there is, and only God there ever will be. He wants to talk to every one of you. Meditate. Bring it to fruition out there. You'll see it. It might be in the way you did think like today. Go home. Okay, I'm heading home. But anyways, remember, if anybody out there doesn't love you, I love you. Okay? I love you very much, and I love every one of you. You're the most wonderful people in the world. Well, I got 30 minutes out of you. So, anyways, y'all have a good day and love everybody you can. I will see you later. I am Servant. I am Pisces. Have a good one.